Eagles have said they need to get on the same page as an offense. So did a Monday meeting between some key pieces finally clear the air? Plus, Vic Fangio on his defense's second half struggles. We're going to hear from the defensive coordinator on what went wrong. And are the Giants the perfect opponent at the perfect time? We're going to look at how much the Birds can bounce back this coming Thursday night. As we welcome you here inside our studios, this is Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Alongside John Clark, I'm Amy Fiddle, and it's been a rough couple of days on the Philly sports scene, John. We all know that. We saw what happened last night. Now the Phillies are in L.A., hopefully for better, kind of results. But now you're thinking about the Eagles. It's 2 losses. We were riding so high.
Yes, but there's a get-right game.
There's a get-right game.
Hopefully for the Phillies as well. We'll see.
Now we'll see. We'll have to get it right when we're talking about the Eagles. We got to check out this tweet by Jimmy Kimsey. He put it out on social media yesterday. Jimmy Kimsey of the Philly Voice. This will hopefully have a positive impact. Quote, I'm told Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley had a long, positive conversation today. Lasted a couple of hours. This was last night he put that out. Here are 2 of the guys who were part of that meeting speaking about what went on. It is our Birds Report presented by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on.
Yeah, we had a conversation, but I'm not going to speak too much on it. I feel like that conversation is meant to stay between us, but focus was all about the team, and I think it was a good thing.
What gives you the confidence that after that conversation, this offense is going to take a step in the right direction?
I mean, I don't think it's just that conversation. I think it's the work that we put in. Sometimes it just doesn't hit off right away. I know it hasn't shown, in a consistent way throughout the first 5 games, but there's been sparks. There's been halves where we look untouchable, but there's been halves where we look really bad. So I know I said it before, but we just got to continue to, have more halves of us, playing at a high level. So I don't think just our conversation. I think just the way that, the mindset of this team and on this offense and how we work and what we believe we can be.
It's just us talking about the collective, talking about taking ownership for what we can and talking about how we move forward as a team so we continue to find ways to win games.
It's no surprise they're not really going to talk about exactly what went on as we check out our 3-point stance presented by Toyota. But first up, the Eagles offense should start to take flight. How confident are you, John, especially after that trio of players met? Those are 3 very important players to this offense clicking together.
Well, I think last year we saw after the bye week how much the communication, knocking on the door of Nick Sirianni, the line wants to run the ball more. Communication really turned around their season. And then you had A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Had a little bit of an issue, and Brandon Graham put it out there, and everybody communicated again. So I think this is a very good sign that everybody is communicating. It really struck me after the game when A.J. Brown was asked about Jalen Hurts and himself not connecting on that deep ball, and then they said, hey, did you guys go over it? Did you communicate after that play? What went wrong? No. You got to communicate.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown said they did not communicate. So I think there's something going on with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, and hopefully they will communicate more, and hopefully they'll get on the same page more. So I think in this game against the Giants, it is a get-right game. So I think you're probably going to see the communication helping, but it's also the Giants playing the Giants. It's going to help as well.
Well, wasn't this like, big team meeting? Because I think those are things when you're panicking, and a 1 loss is not a panic button time. But there's obviously something that's been going on. How much is a team meeting, or at least this kind of grouping meeting, going to be beneficial?
I think any kind of communication is good because there's obviously certain plays that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith want to run. There's certain plays that Jalen Hurts wants to run. And then maybe they got to pick some better running plays. Maybe the line isn't able to block as well with the injuries they've got with Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens. Maybe something's up with him. So I think any kind of communication about what everybody likes, what works best, a come-together moment like they had after the bye week. It's interesting that this is kind of coming out now on the shortest of weeks. Last year was the bye week where they really kind of were able to communicate. So I think this is a very, very good sign, a willingness for everybody to communicate and get things right.
Yeah, winning cures all ills, and we saw that last year. You mentioned A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts having some communication issues last year. Now it's kind of spilled over into this year, even though they won the Super Bowl. Any chance that this is going to continue to be an issue, or do you think this is going to kind of quash it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see on the field because when you're not communicating why a deep shot like that doesn't happen and you're not on the same page or something happened, you want to communicate. So if they're talking, everybody's talking about the team, that's a very good thing. But we'll have to see on the field. We'll definitely have to see on the field. I definitely think that meeting they had last year after Brandon Graham put it out there, I think that really did help. Anytime you can dig deep and everybody kind of lets it out, something that's frustrating them, you know, like in a relationship, if I don't take out the trash, that's just going to keep building. Well, it may not hear it at first. It might be something else. And then a couple weeks later, it's a bigger thing, but it's really about not taking out the trash. So you got to have open communication. They're letting it out.
As long as you don't hear, it's fine, everything's fine, you know, everything is probably not fine.
Don't get into the tone either.
Don't do that, the tone. So let's go on to our second stance. The Eagles need more at edge rusher. Zadarius Smith is the only edge rusher with the sack. He's got 1.5. And he literally just got here. No one else has any. Of course, Nolan Smith is on the shelf right now with a triceps injury. But can they figure out this pass rush soon? Who are some of the players you think need to step up on that front?
Such a great question, Amy, because with Nolan Smith out and Jalen Carter is obviously playing hurt. He's got that shoulder, and they even talked about having to take him out at certain points of these games, like it's going to flare up. So he's playing hurt. You saw Moro Ajomo. He's got 2 sacks, right? So the other thing is, you've got blitzing. And we saw Zach Bond on some blitzes. He's getting home once or twice a game. And maybe we'll see a little more of Jihad Campbell getting after the quarterback. Nakobe Dean is hopefully going to be activated Thursday night. He may not be able to play as much, but maybe that'll free up Jihad Campbell a little bit more, or Zach Bond a little bit more. Maybe they'll play around, get Nakobe Dean in there. Maybe not this Thursday night, but maybe the following week.
Coming up.
But that is a big question. The pass rush. They've only got 7 sacks, and most of them are not from the defensive front.
Right.
You're creating it. But I think Vic Fangio is going to work through this. Teams are getting the ball out quick sometimes, too.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, you're looking for the pass rush.
Guys to get something going. All right. Our third stance, the Eagles are facing an opponent, as John has mentioned, the right opponent at the right time. The Giants are 1-4 on the season. They're coming off a loss to the previously winless Saints. That was actually a pretty awful game, to be honest. They get them on a short week. Could be a recipe for serious success for the Birds. Is this a get-right game?
I absolutely think so. The Giants turned it over 5 times in New Orleans. Jackson Dart, 3 turnovers. He's a young quarterback. I think the defense is going to be able to show some looks and then change it up and hopefully fluster Jackson Dart. And the Giants, of course, missing Malik Neighbors. I think they're going to have issues against the Eagles defense. For me, the Eagles defense, I just want to see them, when they get up on a team, close it out. And don't allow teams back into the game. And Reed Blankenship told me we've got to stomp on their throats. Like, we have to make sure we don't give them any air. They can't start to
the
complete.
Bucs or the Rams, and those other ones, Cowboys even,
the last 2 weeks, they've been outscored 37-14 in the second halves. So I do think this is the perfect game to get right. And maybe sometimes this short week you simplify things a little bit so guys can play faster and not think so much. Maybe that'll happen on offense as well.
All right, something good there. Let's check out our Hurry Up. It's an early Hurry Up, and it's brought to you by Meineke. First up for John, how many rushing yards will Saquon have against the Giants?
Okay. So 176 in his return to MetLife, and then he told his coach, hey, let the young guys eat. That was the most he ever had at MetLife Stadium. I'm not going to say he goes for 200 yards, but he's going to go over 100 yards for the first time since before the Super Bowl, right?
All right, I like that.
You agree?
I do agree. I know he thinks it's like not a big deal anymore, but it's always going to be a little bit of a big deal. So I think 100 yards is good. How much longer will Brian Daboll be the Giants head coach?
So Thursday this week, let's see. If they lose, they're going to be what, 1-5?
1-5, or when they lose.
How long will the general manager be there?
The fact that he survived last year is remarkable, to be honest.
Especially when it was all televised as well. The dealings with Saquon and all that.
Saquon, and then Daniel Jones is now tearing it up out there in Indianapolis.
Good point. Yeah, I think this is it for them. And if the Eagles get 2 more wins, this will help grease the skids, and they'll be out of it.
Bury them on that one. All right, how many more wins will the Giants get? They've got 1.
Oh my goodness. Maybe 5. Maybe 5.
5 total?
5 total.
5 total.
Towards the end of the year. Some
people are not playing.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of things. You think they're going to have less than 5?
I do, actually. Probably going to have 4. 4 total.
How many will the Jets have? They're 1-9 up in New York.
That's it's a tough time up there. It's a tough time. But we want to appreciate John, thanks for stopping by. We always appreciate when John stops by. Make sure you check out his work, obviously, on NBC 10 as well as we check out the playbook presented by Supercuts. When we return, we're giving Barrett Brooks a panic button. Is he ready to push it on the lack of pass rush or on the offensive balance? Plus, we're going to hear from Vic Fangio on his defense's second-half struggles. And Dave Zangara and Ruben Frank weigh in on Thursday's upcoming matchup against the Giants. You're watching Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL.
Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota.